Hi, Tupac. How you doing? Can you tell me how you doing today?
Well, I just had to listen to the prosecution's closing argument, and it was just so far from the truth that it really just has me drained at the end of the day. But I'm leaving it in the hands of the jury. I'm learning a lot about people's innermost fears in this trial, because it's not even about my trial no more. It's just about loud rap music, tattoo having thugs. It's not even about me no more. It's about, some nightmare that these people having.
She's talking about thug life and all that, trying to...
He's definitely guilty. Anybody with thug life tattooed on their stomach is guilty. What type of reasoning is that? You know what I'm saying? We got different backgrounds. We come from two different places. Just because I look different than her doesn't mean that I'm a sodomizer or a raper. They've said it in the... I can't understand why it's this close. They talking about there's no evidence that I ever sodomized her, even though you put that all over the paper. And every time they take a quote out of this courtroom, they take a quote from out of her mouth, which is, the stuff to put me in jail. It's nothing that's been true. I just want print the facts so everybody can sort it out. My life is ruined because nobody has a chance to get the facts.
And the fact is that there was no semen found.
No semen found, no forcible entry, no entry into the anal, no nothing, none of that.
And no fingerprints on the gun.
No fingerprints on the guns, you know what I'm saying? The only time ever there was an act of sodomy, she admitted she did it to me. I should be, putting charges on this girl who sodomized me on the floor of a dance club. Why am I in court? You know what I'm saying? Get my life ripped apart. But I'm here, I'm gonna go through it just to show that I have faith in the American system. But for me to have faith in the American system, these juries and everybody else has to, play the same role and to keep it open. I can't, I don't know who owns the gun.
How old are you, 23?
23.
So you feel that your career is...
Yeah, it is. Why would I own a gun? I've registered guns, you know what I'm saying? I'm a legal owner of guns.
In California.
California. So I came to New York and wanted to be an illegal gun runner now. That's what they want you to believe. I want to start erasing... What? Come on, man. This is all about my image. Has nothing to do with me. This is all about my image. It's like MTV, all the papers, they building me up. Now they destroying me on the same image that they perpetuated. You know what I'm saying? I'm selling records. This is what I do for a living. I'm selling records. Don't get it twisted. This is not my real life. This is not how my real life is supposed to be. I'm not supposed to be really having all these villains in my life. I'm not supposed to be having, the Philadelphia. I can't do shows. Everybody's already, I'm guilty. Even though the only crime I've been convicted of is fighting. Hitting somebody in the face with my fists, ever. Only crime. But I can't even go to Philly, I can't go to Texas, I can't go nowhere. So
you're maintaining your innocence.
I'm maintaining my innocence because I'm loud. I didn't shut up. But I didn't think they was gonna take it this serious. Me keep talking out, I didn't think it was gonna be a matter of life and death. I thought, well, I won't be super...
Yo, welcome to the 1804 show, chapter 2. I'm your host, Dollar Will, and this is another episode of 1804 History. And just wanted to thank everybody who tuned into my interview. Woo, woo, woo. But yeah, it was fun, man. Shout out to my homeboy cooking up with Bo. And it was just a blast. Had a great time. Good brother right there. But yeah, hit like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and let's begin. So this evening I'm going to be talking about Tupac Shakur arrest in 1993. Next month we make it the 30-year anniversary, so I just wanted to discuss the things that's been documented, not going to slander anybody, lie to anybody, or anything like that. But I just feel like it's just really important that this man be vindicated for a crime that he didn't commit. And that particular false accusation led to his demise. And this is why you have to be careful who you sleep with, who you deal with, who you even smash, because that person, that woman, that man can ruin your life and not even care or you don't even realize just the impact that it will leave on you. So, let's begin. This was pretty much like after he was arrested in Atlanta for shooting those 2 off-duty cops. It's crazy because this was like all in 2 weeks. And when he was acquitted from that crime, because he was filming the movie Above the Rim. And the craziest part about it was after he had got bailed out and proven that he didn't shoot those 2 cops, he went to a club with New York stick-up kid, Haitian Jack, and they met at Nails nightclub, sports bar, and they was just smoking, drinking, having a good time, and 19-year-old Ayanna Jackson came and introduced herself to him, and they got on the dance floor, and she performed oral sex on the dance floor. So he had invited her back to his suite at the Park Meridian up in Manhattan, and they had messed around that night, and then he had escorted her to a cab and stuff like that. So they had slept together, messed around, and what's craziest thing about it was his friends who he was hanging out with, and they had invited her back to the hotel because he wasn't there. He wasn't in attendance at the time. So he was like, "What are you doing here?" And she was like, "Oh, your homeboys invited me through." And he was like, "Okay, whatever." So then, a whole lot of things had took place. From Pac's side, they went into one of the suites, and she gave him a massage, and apparently he fell asleep, and he wake up and they screaming rape, rape. And her story was that she was on top of him or whatever, and a few of the dudes busted in the room, and they was just talking about how thick she was and looking at her ass, and I want some of that Pac, and allegedly he held her down while they was taking turns and forcing themselves on her, which is absolute lie, because basically, how can I say this without being canceled or being attacked? But we all know how these women be, man. Everybody's not a queen, you know what I'm saying? And she was going there for something, especially after 11 o'clock at night. We all know how sneaky links be and stuff like that. And apparently she was in love with him, and she didn't get the type of attention or the type of static that she wanted. So she felt upset, she felt betrayed, and just wanted to get back at him for not fulfilling her demands. And it's messed up because, you playing with people's lives, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that women don't get sexually abused or sexually assaulted, but when you do this out of spite, you're a horrible person. And there was no evidence that she was ever raped or sexually assaulted. She was just a thought. You know what I'm saying? She was a jump off. But we met a lot of those. You know what I'm saying? Even I met a lot of those who allowed you to do whatever they want to you and stuff like that. And at first they're cool with it, and then all of a sudden, because they feel shamed or they don't want to be embarrassed, they will make up this false allegations, you know what I'm saying, these false rape charges on you and stuff like that to try to ruin your image, to try to ruin your reputation. In which it happened to him because he woke up and they said that he was drugged. Somebody put something in his drink and knocked him out because he didn't have no recollection of the night before until he woke up. He even still had his makeup on from the movie where he has that scar on his left cheek or right cheek. So he still had his makeup on from being Birdie and shit. So he wake up and try to figure out what's going on. And a couple of his people was just like, "Hey Pac, the police is coming." And he was like, "Why the police coming?" He was like, "Well, I don't know, man, but they on their way up here, man, and we need to figure out what to do." So he gets dressed, and then police came and they found guns in his room and everything. It was just a bad situation. So him, his road manager, Charles Fuller, Haitian Jack, and others were arrested for rape and sodomy and weapons charges. And for a whole year, he's going back and forth in court because he was able to get bond. So he's going back and forth and trying to claim his innocence and trying to tell everybody that he didn't do this. And this was way before social media, so people couldn't really get the facts straight. And what's crazy that his lawyer, Michael Warren, found Haitian Jack rap sheet after he separated himself from the case. And they found out, allegedly, that he was an FBI informant, that he was working with the feds on trying to, get people locked up. And he had several crimes that he never spent the time in jail. So it was just a whole lot of people, including his road manager and the people that was with Patient Jack, was let off the case except him. So that's when he started to realize, like, hey, y'all set me up and I'm not gonna be the scapegoat. There was many people in that room that night. How come I'm getting in trouble? How come I'm being led down this dark path or this rough patch when I wasn't the only one that was in the room? And so he was going around talking to reporters the day before he was shot back in 1994. And telling people, like, it wasn't me. I didn't do anything. And I'm innocent until proven guilty and shit. And just letting people know, like, this is some bullshit. I'm being railroaded and stuff like that. And so he, told the reporters that Haitian Jack was a nobody. He was a hanger-on, and so he a snitch and this and that. So that would cause problems in the streets. That he was a marked man, like he was no longer being protected in New York. And what's so dirty about this whole situation was even people in his inner crew, his inner circle, knew what was going to happen to him. So he ended up being set up and being robbed and shot 5 times, and then having to go to jail because he was found guilty of the sexual abuse, but he was innocent on the weapon charges and sodomy. So during his prison sentence that he began serving in February of 1995, his cousin gets a phone call from Ayana, and she was just saying that her life is being threatened. She can't go back and tell a judge or tell anybody that Tupac didn't rape her or anything like that, because they would kill her. His cousin was like, look, man, you gotta have to say something, because he's in jail for no reason. He's innocent. And you know he's innocent. You know he ain't do nothing to you. And she's all like, well, I would love to, but I can't, because I'm scared. And so after that, he was forced to pay her $300,000 for the money of the civil suit that she filed. And that was the money that he earned from Me Against the World. So that's why he couldn't bail himself out of jail, because the money that he earned from that album, he had to pay her. He had to pay his lawyers. He had to pay his former managers and everybody that he owed. So he was practically broke while he was in prison. And so that's why he signed with Death Row, because he was desperate to get out of jail. And when you in prison for a crime that you didn't commit, as a rapist or as a sex offender, it's over for you. You know what I'm saying? You can pretty much die at any time or be killed. But it just, he had to live with that, being a sexual abuser his whole remaining of his life. And for something that he did not do. He was just young, you know what I'm saying? Young and really naive to a certain extent, which we all have been there. And he just didn't think that a woman of his color that he loved so much will accuse him for something so painful. And a lot of his friends said that he would cry about that, because he was in tune and in love with black women so much. It changed him. He felt betrayed not only by his black woman, but his black men. A lot of people believe that he was a rapist, and he was going through it in prison, going through being locked down for 23 hours a day. Anytime he had a visitor, he had to give cavity searches. You know what I'm saying? Just a whole bunch of stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? Just, that was just totally unwarranted. So he was a changed man, you know what I'm saying? And it was unfortunate, because if he would have not had that happen to him, he'd still be alive today. He would have not been able to sign a death row. There would have not been no East Coast, West Coast war. He would have not been shot. He would have not experienced things that he experienced the last 3 years of his life if he would have not met her. But it's unfortunate because this is why you have to be careful about who you sleep with, who you associate yourself with. You always got to watch the company you keep. And it's okay to be alone. It's okay to be by yourself for a while. It's okay to be a loner. You know what I'm saying? And it's nothing to say about that. You know what I'm saying? It's all about self-preservation at the end of the day. It's a scary situation knowing that how you can get acquitted from one crime and then you get set up and get arrested for another crime in less than 2 weeks. Damn shame. But yeah, you know, as a Pac fan, I love him, and I always believe his account of what happened, and he didn't have nothing to lie about. So I would end it on this note. Be careful, fellas. Stay strapped. You know what I'm saying? Tool, and you know what I mean. But yeah, just be careful out here, because you can't trust nobody. So y'all have a good night, and make sure y'all hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'm out. Good night. Peace.